G'day YouTube, welcome back to my channel Bonsai Works. I have a little Shimpaku Juniper here that belongs to a friend of mine, and she wanted me to do some work on it for her. It's quite a nice little twisted trunk. I'll do a little spin around of the tree. There's a bit of a long gin in there, but you can see the nice movement of this trunk, quite nice. And it's probably the feature of the tree. Not even sure where it was, probably there somewhere. Alright, so I've had a look at the tree, and it's actually quite a difficult little guy to work on. The main issue is trying to find a front for this tree. What the best angle, what the best viewpoint of this tree is. I wanted to show off mainly the really good trunk, the really great trunk, twisted up trunk. So I think for some reason, I think the front was somewhere in there, and all the branches are actually in your face. Like, look at them, they're not the best. Maybe the back's a little bit better, I found. Maybe the back areas are really good. That's not bad, but there's not much. This part is very straight, and then there's twisted. It doesn't look the best. I'm thinking of changing the front to somewhere, to be honest, somewhere in about here. It's nice and the bar is spread. You've got some straightness, but not a huge amount, and then you've got some really wicked movement up in the tree, and you can see it quite nicely. And the main reason I want to pick that is there's this significant branch. Don't worry about this branch. There's this significant branch here. It's a really strong branch, and I like to put direction in trees, like having a tree main strong branch doing something. So if I have this as this in here as the front, I can actually wire this guy down. I can actually wire this guy down and create a nice first kind of branch on it, and gives the whole tree direction, and then I can build a tree around that. There isn't much branching elsewhere else. There's this weak one in here that's a bit scraggly. Probably has to come off. Gin it and then create some shari on the trunk. So this tree definitely needs some shari along the trunk to enhance it, because it doesn't have that huge excessive foliage that you usually see with my Shimpakus. So it would be nice to show some shari going around the trunk, that kind of stuff. That's one thinking, having this significant point. Then there's this branch in here that's kind of in the front. And then you've got this is an apex up here that's really heavy and going backwards. So it's quite, as I said, it's not the easiest tree, to be honest. I am contemplating that. It's got the best. This area here's got the best movement showing. I know, probably hard to see because this branch is in the way, but it's got the best interesting movement. You can see the twists and bends in it. I want to try and make this the new apex, and then gin the top part off. Try to reduce it, smaller tree, reduce the apex, have this as a significant branch, and build the tree from that. Probably take another year to develop and fill out for the owner, but I think it's probably the best solution right now. I'll keep having a look at it, but that's the plans I'm going with, to try and work on it. So we'll see how we go. Okay, I'll come back and show you how we're going to progress, and we'll do some more video footage. Alright, let's start with this tree. I do think that's the plan anyway, my original plan. We'll see what happens. First thing I'm going to do is I just want to show you there's a bit of a long gin. Maybe I'll take it this way. There's a nice long gin in here that's been created. I'm going to make it shorter and just try and carve some deadwood on the trunk, shari on the trunk. It just this branch should have a bit of shari down and going along the trunk. You follow the deadwood line. That's how I like to do it with the shari. So you're expecting that branch was quite significant at one stage, and there should be some sort of shari that can keep going along the trunk, and it'll go around, and there's a bit of a bulge in here. So what happens if you shari it reduces the size of that bulge, so it looks less reverse taperish. So I'm going to go away and do that, and clean up this gin. I'm going to make it shorter. It doesn't need to be a long one like that. It looks a bit, not too good. Just a nice short one there on the tree. We'll do that. Okay. Alright, so if you take this tree step by step, I have created a lovely little bit of gin and shari along the trunk. It's much smaller, see, much more sensible having a small gin because of the size of the trunk. It doesn't need to be that long. It's all about balance. Now the next step really is whatever I choose. There's one problem here, is this branch. No matter what I choose, it's not going to work. So this branch comes right out of the base of this big strong branch. So this strong branch, let me try and, can I get my hands out of the way enough? Comes right out of, so the big strong branch is there, and this comes like underneath the base of that. So it's never going to be a good branch anyway, so it's going to come off. So I will try and see if I can use a little bit of a gin and maybe increase the shari along here, or do something interesting around there now. But I just want to show you the step-by-step process of how you eliminate things that are not going to be used in the design. Once I eliminate that, maybe we can see a bit better what we can do in the apex of this tree. That's probably the problem, is the apex of the tree. What are we going to do? How am I going to can I get this branch, this new young branch here, as my new apex some way, somehow? Okay. All right, so I'm going to go away. It's just purely just ginning this off, nothing much, and then carving. It's not the best footage you need to see, so I'll just go away and do that and see the result. All right, now you can see where we're kind of settling at now. Once we've done all the cleanup work, some interesting movement. Now we can see the little bit of a gin in there. Still a little straight. Could always bend the tree a little bit. I think having this gin kind of and a bit of shari there, maybe even extend that a little bit more out here, will actually make it look less bulksome here and less inverse taper. But really now I'm going to start to try and wire this tree how I want to see it. So now it's a wiring job. I haven't touched the top yet because I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Remember, don't cut anything off that you're not 100% sure of. So I'll start to do some wiring and we'll see how we can position this branch and all the other branches and see what can come off. But this is probably the most significant branch on the tree, followed by this one here. It's kind of in a good position for a new apex, but we need to contort it and make it smaller. So whole idea is to get this tree smaller as well. So always tell you that. But I'll probably put it on time lapse so you can see me wiring away. Just a bit of fun. Okay. Alright everyone, so here's the finished tree with the front being around in that spot there. It looks a bit flat on the screen, but the tree's actually quite nice and three-dimensional. Just needs time to fill out now. Nothing really else it needs right now, just to fill out over the next 6 months to a year, and hoping the owner will like the transformation. Haven't changed too much in terms of the bending angles of the trunk, etc. I just thought I'd leave it as it is. Nice and interesting. Just that once it all fills out, the tree will look much more happier, much more compact and fuller and healthier. At the moment, it looks a bit sparse as things happen like this. But now that we've reduced it and kept it looking really nice and tight, it looks quite good. Using copper all the way through. Had to put a guy wire to the apex down onto a hard wire just to bring it back down. It was a bit too high. Pretty straightforward wiring. But yeah, lots of development. In a year's time, this tree will look very different with all the filling out of the foliage. But wiring out all the branches, giving them air and space to grow and back bud and just fill out. Very important. Anyway, guys, that's really it. Hopefully in the future we can add some more shari to it, but at the moment that's where it is. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.